This game here is one played during the week. This is from a lot of games played between our players here, Melkor and TeRRoR, also known as John Slow. They played quite a lot. They've had maybe like a best of what would be 15, I suppose. No, best of 13 maybe. So it's been you know, an interesting little bit of a series. These are 4 games played consecutively, I believe, yesterday. Could have been the day before though, I'm not entirely sure, I don't remember too well. So over here we have Melkor, also known as Matthias. As his previous name, he was originally known as Melkor, changed his name, changed it back. He has the Mayans, a civ he absolutely detests, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Over on the other side we have TeRRoR, also known as John Slow. He doesn't use the TeRRoR name all too much anymore, but he does use his account called TeRRoR as a smurf at times. He has the Aztecs here. Out of all the civs that we could see, Mayans are generally regarded as quite a good tier civ. I don't rate them as high as a lot of other people, but Aztecs definitely make it as top 1 tier, if not second, on many people's tier civs. Aztecs, absolute beast of a civ. Their tech tree is amazing, their bonuses are amazing. They basically fit Arena perfectly. They're also well known as just being a very good civ on many other maps. Quite sight of getting housed. He got housed at the start of the game. Of course, your mines, if you're not expecting it and you don't see it right away, then you are going to get housed. But then also getting housed at 10 pop, that's unforgivable. Let's all go bully him. Or let's not. Let's all be human beings for a change. Some weird 3-on wood strats over here. Oh, there we go. He's actually sorting things out. He's building in our house just to make sure he just doesn't get double housed. Just, if you don't want housed, make sure of it. Where's he going? To Lord of the War. This is some real... I don't know what's going on here with this strategy. I guess that... I guess building that house really screwed up his order. The idle villagers... Oh, it looks like he actually managed to catch it wandering off to grab a random tree somewhere. Nice. In Arena, you do not get... Oh. Oh my god. It gets worse and worse. Oh man, I'm about to have heart failure here. That's incredible. As mines in Arena, you don't get loom at the start. Versus a lot of civs, like generic civs who start with 3 villagers. Mines can get loom at the start, so they're essentially a villager ahead, because in Arabia and maps like that you'll always get loom. But in Arena you won't, so you won't really be ahead. There's not really much point in getting loom, because you just don't really need it, and costing 50 gold does cost you to waste a villager's time later on. If you build your houses very, very fast, you have a slight advantage of not having to pay for 1 villager. Nice little boost. Over here, TeRRoR, he is a villager head. I wasn't expecting this game. Aztecs, top civ though. Tech tree, everything to do with it. Someone says that Melkor could have used loom, that would have helped. The tech tree, the bonuses, I mean, even the relics on their own is a really strong gold bonus. But when you take into account they already have very, very strong monks with their smush, you know, their monks last quite well vs other units. It's also, you know, eagles, if you're going heavy on gold, they could afford eagles quite easily because it costs only a little bit of food but a lot of gold. So there's a lot of counters that actually don't stand up too well if you're trying to counter things like Aztec monks, Inca monks even. Also the villagers carry +5. Arguably one of the best Dark Age economy bonuses. It gives them such a huge bonus in resources. And we have TeRRoR playing Aztecs, so my guess is he's going to do a 25 +2 into something more random, maybe a boom. Booming against Melkor though is not the strategy you want to be going for. Let's take a talk about the mines. Strong civ on a lot of maps, their economy is really good, but only early on. I always found it a bit weird that they recently buffed mine farms by removing an intentional nerf on them. Last game from Melkor, I think I downloaded these recs in reverse order, so ignore their chat. Great civ, but on Arena, I don't like them particularly well because just the plume plus eagle combination is not really my thing. And just going straight plumes, I find never works all too well for me. The 1TC push, I think, is not quite as effective as it is in AOC. A lot of civs have good economy bonuses. They also have a lot of nice counter units they can make with that. So 1TC pushing is actually not all too common when you're comparing the AOC civs to the new ones. That's just what I find. I don't find mines work all too well, and in late game, my personal strategy involves a lot of turtling towards the late game. So mines, they just don't work for me. But a nice thing about mines is they do have some nice cheaper archer bonuses, and they also have the Eagle Warrior. In Arena, it's really important to take map control for the relics. Yeah. It's really important to have Eagles to take map control for relics, although of course against Aztecs they could do the same thing. But versus most civs which are not meso, opening for Eagle Warriors you want to take map control as something like mines and then doing some small 2TC type of push. You could have a small boom at the same time as have some really strong plumes. For example, take map control, take the relics. That's a good position, that's some good, you know, economy bonus, a lot of gold. From there you could push with, you know, a castle, maybe go plumes. You could maybe easily add an eagles if it's, you know, against the civ that you're fighting. Or especially you could even go things like Arbalast quite fast. Because of course cheaper Arbalast is really nice for the mines. TeRRoR is upping, he did a 25+2. Called it. Don't need 2 on gold as Aztecs when you start with the +50 gold as a bonus. I don't see how he's gonna like magic up the extra 400, like 350 food he needs. Well, 450 because he spends 100 on villagers. Not entirely sure what TeRRoR's plan is here because it's just a bit unusual. He does this weird 25+2 boom every single game and it doesn't make that much sense to me because he idles for most of it. And if you're gonna idle for most of it, you might as well make the villagers that don't make you idle. That way at least you get a villager out of it rather than wasted time. Melkor idling his scouts. Eagle scouts are quite nice. They are basically, for most civs in Dark Age, the Eagle Scout is stronger, so it's hard for you to be lamed, that kind of thing. You can lame if you want. In Feudal Age, a normal scout will chase yours down and beat you, so by that stage, like before you hit Castle Age, you've probably already pushed your deer, so there's not too much for you to do. That's a little bit of a problem. But then in Castle Age again, the Eagle Scout is then stronger than a normal scout. So it's a nice little thing to have, and makes Eagle Scouts quite popular to go. The only real problem with going Eagle Scouts versus normal civ that could go something like Light Cavalry is that Light Cavalry can obviously, you know, run around the map and just out micro them. For Eagle Warriors, you cannot split them up like you can with Light Cav, because if you do, then a group of Light Cav can easily just micro down each individual Eagle. Melkor is sold 100 stone, sold 100 wood and bought 100 food to click up. Some build. And TeRRoR does appear to be up 4 on gold. Send 2 villagers forward. He does have a lot of farms if this is going to be a smash. Although of course he did sell, he did go like 100 million villagers on the berries. So he doesn't have food to keep going at the moment. I can see this making sense. I mean, he does have a lot on wood, which is nice if you're going to do a siege monk rush. Gold, maybe lacking a little bit, but he still has enough. I like how this is going, but I'm gonna see what he plans to do. Does he want to open some eagles? Smushing mines not always the best idea because obviously plumes mix at the same time as their own eagles. And there we go, TeRRoR hits Castle Age, and of course Melkor runs because the extra +3 attack. Siege Workshop coming out, we see eagles. Is he going to Siege Tower? Because he's getting skill mill armor, which is Decent food investment, especially when this is your food economy. Does he want to go eagles with like 6 farms to run his TC at the same time? That's not going to work. Skill mirror armor now in. And Melkor does not scout any of this. He also didn't push his deer. No extra TCs coming up for this player. Are we going to see any for Melkor? Nope, just the castle. Oh yeah, siege. No. I thought we were going to see siege tower eagles coming from TeRRoR here. But it looks like he just plans to at least attempt to mangonel this. I don't think he's going to be successful. He might be able to get land a good shot on a couple of villagers without loom as well. You might see 1 or 2 fatalities here. There goes 3. But the castle will go up. Oh, 5 fatalities. Oh, that's just getting worse. But a mangonel, not worth it for the villagers. But, Jesus. He should have got loom after all. Should have got loom. But you shouldn't be anticipating that. Honestly, this is a little bit of a ballsy castle, but I see how he needs to do it to protect these stones. Especially his main stone, which he might need later if he wants to go more commitment into plumes. The gold though, does he need? Yes. Speaking about these players' maps, nice second stone in the back. That is not a second stone actually, that's an extra stone. The 1 extra stone on the map. As well as a second gold. His map is actually really not that bad. If he does lose this forward, then he would have been okay. He's going to quickly patch this stuff up. Some stone wall behind here would be really nice. No, that's not a hole behind the siege workshop, so that's perfectly fine. Over here in TeRRoR's base, I would expect him to add a TC by now. He does have a really nice map though with these 2 extras. That's 1 extra and that's 1 second gold in the back. 1 second outside, not too bad. His main gold is maybe not... You know, I wouldn't really go aggressive with the main gold like this when you have this much gold in the back, but you know, if you do have some gold to keep you in backup, you might as well go for a bit of aggression. Plumes are nice. Not too great against eagles though. They do have the bonus damage against infantry, which does make them able to snipe them a little bit easier. Are we going to see a little bit of walling here? Are we going to see some kind of inside building built by TeRRoR? Monks incoming. He's going to try and convert something, probably the mangonels. Not entirely sure what his resources are looking like though. He's not going to be able to afford redemption. He needs to add some more farms because he's not going to be too ahead of villagers too long, I don't think. There's the other extra gold in the south of the map. I like the addition of the monk, but it's not going to help him here. It feels like, I was going to say it feels like he's always making plumes, but I don't know why. He already has Balkan Arrow, which is a nice strong upgrade to get on your plumes because of the range. Red Magnet. Oh! Saved by the skin of his scroll. And he has a 1-for-1 trade. That's nice. Looking at home, neither of these players are really working on things like economy. It's going to be straight 1 TC from both players. A 1 TC defense is not all too common, but he was planning on pushing with the plumes. So the issue here is that if this entire push here gets taken off, then Melkor is in a great position to just retaliate. Sniping a nice monk there, the eagle's not going to be too effective. TeRRoR does not get that last armor upgrade that he needs in Castle Age. If he gets that, his eagle's going to do noticeably better. Mangonel probably going to get sniped. There's enough eagles to even just run in there, to be honest. And there goes the Siege Workshop. So what's going to happen now? Siege is going to stand right in this position right here and try to hit the TC. Then as Mangonel comes from this side, which you can't do anything about, you're just going to lose it. This is a nice position, but TeRRoR needs to just take down these buildings here, I feel, just to get a bit more room away from the castle. Plume's coming out for Melkor, he's massing them in sizable quantities. And he is preparing his own Eagle Warriors. What beats Eagle Warrior plus Mangonel? Full Eagle Warrior. Same resources, you can mass as many. But of course, the Mangonels don't do anything about the Eagle Warriors, they're kind of wasted resources in that kind of fight. Eagle should just run in now, they got free reign. Melkor is no longer taking stone, kind of would take stone myself, but I like the Eagle switch. The Eagle switch can be quite nice here. As I said, all he has to really do is kill the Mangonels and fight this back. If the Mangonels are gone, then the Plumes can really just destroy the Eagles here as well as the monks. TeRRoR did get the armor upgrade, which is nice. Siege Workshop coming out. Seeing Plumes coming from behind. No Siege Workshop here at the moment. So he probably should consider repairing this TC. Which is his own TC. TeRRoR is a god at attacking his own units, if attack round counts as that, but... And here goes one Mangonel. TeRRoR repairing, which is really nice. And then forgetting. 3 Mangonels down, 4 Mangonels down. And now it's just Plumes plus a couple of Eagles versus full Eagles. I don't really see how TeRRoR's going to win this. He has 2 villagers behind, so it's not... Neither player's fighting for economy right now. And TeRRoR might want to GG sometime soon, honestly. Unless he just plans to add TCs at this moment. Which I don't see him doing. He doesn't have much wood economy, I don't know where he's spending it. He's planning some kind of ram rush against the Plumes, but that's not going to work. Especially now that a lot of Eagles coming out for Melkor. Yeah, there we go. TeRRoR GG's. TeRRoR could recover this one because he has a stronger late game as Aztecs. He also did have this map control. I think maybe even a little bit earlier, or even now, he just sent out monks to quickly grab the relics as fast as possible. If he got 3 or 4 at home and added TCs right now, even at this point, he'd probably still recover from this. Maybe he was assuming Melkor had a bit more economy, maybe he assumed he was 2 TCs. But I reckon with a little bit of booming here, TeRRoR could probably recover this one off because he had the position, he didn't take the best advantage of it. How he's going to deal with the Plumes after this point though? As I said, he did have a decent bit of rams. A couple queued up is going to be quite nice for him. I'm not going to ram rush that. Maybe he could have just massed some more Eagles at home. I believe this takes me straight into achievements. Equal units killed and units lost. Of course, TeRRoR only killed 19 when Melkor lost 20 because the boar took one of those. Equal largest armies, to be honest. On paper, this looks, you know, pretty even game. But unit mix wise, the Mangonels were not helping out the Eagles too much. I think if he had a siege tower, it would have gone far better though. Because that castle was so far away from the TC, if he just siege towered in a few Eagles, would have been quite nice. Also, nice castle age for 27+2. I lied. Equal villager highs. Because you can't go scouts from map control when you don't have scouts. And also like mass knights and that kind of thing. Like, it's just a thing that you just mass knights in Castle Age if you want to take map control, 2 TCs, that kind of thing. It's mines aren't good for that kind of thing. You can't just like do the same with Eagle Warriors. Especially since they die tonight, so. What the hell was I last playing? One second, I have to adjust a couple of things here. Okay, let's return to the game. Here we have again the second game in Melkor vs TeRRoR, which is going to be essentially a best of 7 or something. Why has my spectator overlay disappeared? Every time. If anyone knows the answer to this bug, I would appreciate any answers if anyone has some. I always get this bug every single time I stream. After I cast a couple of games, the spectator overlay just disappears and I have to restart the game to be able to get back to it. That was this game. Back into this game. We have Melkor vs TeRRoR, and in this case we have Melkor as the Turks and TeRRoR as the Huns. What is a really good counter to Janissary's cavalry archers? So what we're not going to see from a player who is Turks and likes to go light cav games, well, we're probably not going to see Janissaries, we're probably going to see light cav, because obviously Turk free light cav, nice little bonus. Huns are a good counter to the traditional way to play Turks though, so this is actually going to be quite interesting to see, I feel. Quick look at these maps. That is a bad main gold. He wants to play quite aggressive to secure this one, but a nice second in the back. And when you're Turks, having a second gold in the back is actually okay. You can collect it fast enough. It's not main gold, but if you do lose your main gold something ridiculous like a Trush, then it's a nice little backup to have when you're Turks. Main stone, completely out of the question. Really, this could be scoured in Dark Age as well, just fully. So I wouldn't really bank on using that if you want to keep hidden strats. This here, not also that good. So stone's kind of out of the question. Golds, I guess he has one. Aside from that, his map is passive. Nice 3 inside deer. If you have inside deer, it's always just mentally better. It's you have to pay a bit less attention when pushing them. It just helps you with your decision making early game. You spend the whole Dark Age thinking about what you're planning to do, and you know, adapting as you scout things, or as things happen rather. TeRRoR down here is going for a 4 on wood start, maybe not a Trush. He has a safe main gold. It's not a very good main gold though, just because, you know, one mining camp here, he has a few access, but it'd be better if this tile was over here or this was an open space to build a mining camp. Aside from that, safe main stone. Safe main stone is always quite good and it's nice to push 3 deer. This is arena with an E, not with an I, so the walls in Dark Age and Feudal Age are 900 HP, which makes Trush quite easily possible. Second gold, second stone, and the other second gold, out of the question. Where are the extras? There's an extra gold, there's another extra gold, and there's the extra stone. These are all towards the right of the map, so if TeRRoR does push in that direction along this side, then he could really just take full control. He could deny pretty much every gold on the map except this 1 second in the back. I hope that's a sheep carcass right there. Can't really tell right off the bat. TeRRoR is behind the villas a little bit, he did have some idle time. What do both these civs have as late game options? Cavalry archers is one of them. Huns of course are cheaper, but Turks are by far stronger. Turks of course have a lot more pierce armor because they have ring archer armor. And at the same time, oh, what are they, 100 HP? So yeah, it's very, very difficult to kill Turk cavalry archers. You'd have to see some really strong cavalry, like, I don't think Cavalier would quite cut it from the Hun player. Paladin more than likely. And that's, I don't think TeRRoR wants to play that kind of late game. I have been surprised before though. I have seen Melkor go on stone to then go Janissaries in one game, and it just surprised the hell out of me. But I think like I was probably a little bit more likely. Open with light cav, then you have a stable to transition into bloodlines if you need cavalry archers of your own. There's not too much aggression the Han player can do. If he does something like straight boom, then you can go something like Halbram. That's a nice strategy for Huns to go. I have been, you know, put off myself by that. You know, I've gotten all relics on the map, I've had good map control, but someone doing a very fast 3TC Halbram can really catch you off guard. And if it does, then it's actually quite hard to recover from that. Just had to turn my laptop off. So I just saw Melkor going on stone. This is not what I expected. Just mission gone wrong. Abort, abort, abort. Maybe he's planning for something quite serious arena-wise. If he's trying to go on stone as Turks. Strategy changing. Oh, didn't he do this in Arena Invitational versus either Stefan, maybe? Could have been Stefan, could have been Eddie, but he did a strategy very similar to this that I kept commentating on. Huh. I mean, could this work? Well, he's going to sell some wood to up, I think. He's going to build his market and blacksmith, and then probably sell 100 wood, maybe sell 100 stone then. And then he's going to be able to buy 100 food to click up. Aside from that, this is a very unusual build order. This is something that maybe we could learn from. Oh wow, we're seeing TeRRoR open with scouts. This is an unusual day. 27 plus 2 scouts here from TeRRoR. Or maybe he's going to open with an archery range to then go cavalry archers. He doesn't really have the wood for this though. He has Huns, but I don't think he's going to go archer line. I think he's going to go scout line. Over here we have a market building. He does 4 on wood, but I don't think... No, he's getting stragglers so he can get enough wood. Well, it's a Keith house. He's not playing Keith, but... So now what's he gonna do? He has Turks, he can sell 100 stone and buy 100 food. And because he's Turks, he could also mine enough gold to click up. Okay, 25 plus 2. That is going to be an ideal time of 14:25. So he has about 30 seconds of idle time on this FC build. Not great. But can he make Jannies from it? Probably. What do I think about 6 on wood? Not liking the 6 on wood. If I was him, I would put some more villagers from the berries onto wood. Then you could afford farms to make the Janissaries plus run your TC. And we see a range from TeRRoR. He is moving a lot of villagers to wood. Okay, that's fine if that's how he wants to get his wood. That's not... Remind me never to say that again. But yeah, I can see his thought process here. Cavalry Archer is very good counter to Janissaries, and it's just unusual to see Melkor go on Janissaries. Maybe he just wants to really protect this main gold. I can see that being a thing, but at the same time he really doesn't have to. TeRRoR is obviously going to scout this. He hasn't yet, but now he has. Even TeRRoR surprised. No scouts. And Melkor knows, if he has Huns, cavalry archers are a good counter. Wait, no, that's not right. That shouldn't be the case. Versus Huns, he probably should be thinking about it. Huns can go scouts faster, but going cavalry archers as a counter to janissaries, then you wouldn't really go janissaries in the first place. Although, to be fair, what's he going to do against Huns? Huns are not going to send Boom, really. He's going to try to take map control, so he's going to either go scouts or archers either way. And of course, with faster stables from the Hun player, you can't really fight that. I like this build so far, though. If you could do it without... Oh. My forehead is forever red. If you could do it without getting housed, this is actually quite a nice build. I reckon without a lot of idle time this could be really nice, but we're gonna have to look into it to see how effective it is. Turks definitely make it quite high on the tier list. They definitely fit into the tier 1 if we're tiering our civs. Okay, so we see C being masked, we see Bodkin Arrow not coming out for TeRRoR and important upgrades when fighting Janissaries. You're looking at 6 range vs 8 though, so you're gonna have to get close. But the mobility of cavalry archers, the lack of mobility of Janissaries, and also just the speed of both players and the inaccuracies of Janissaries, then cavalry archers are really strong, even before Thumbring. But as soon as Thumbring comes in, that's gonna be really nice. We see 2 TCs up for TeRRoR though. He doesn't have the farms to run either of them. Well, both of them. He has farms to run one of them. So I don't see him getting any food heavy techs anytime soon, so he's not going to get Thumbring. But ballistics, yeah, he's going to get ballistics. He has quite a bit on wood, he has quite a lot of gold. And it's quite cheap for him to make the double range cavalry archers. Mangonels plus Janissaries coming in. I think maybe 2 Mangonels might be a little bit more important here. There we go, second Mangonel, just said that. A little bit of a wood economy balance here. He either needs to rebuild this or just build another lumber camp is what I would probably do with that. Needs to build gold. His farm count looks about right to run Janissaries at the same time as villagers. For some reason he added a villager instead of Janissary. Third Mangonel coming out, nice. Cavalry archers can easily send Mangonels, but when you get into the amounts of like 3 or 4, it becomes quite a bit more difficult without Thumbring. You've also got to remember, the more Mangonels that you're sniping, the longer you're sitting under the fire of Janissaries. You always have to remember, you have to add your own Mangonels if you're fighting for Janissaries with Mangonels. Top advice I got from Melkor when talking about a Turk mirror that he had when he went cavalry archers against Janissaries. The one thing you really need to do is add your own Mangonel when you're going cavalry archers. Has ballistics kicked in yet? Did TeRRoR actually research it? Yep, he's got it. So the ranges are going to go down. Monster doesn't really matter. Not a lot of Janissaries. He's really not making all too many. He's made about 3 in the past, 4 minutes or something. 3 minutes maybe. He's sending his Janissaries away. He's going to just leave this as a Mangonel fight. Honestly, this is going to be some serious TeRRoR micro here. We might see this be quite an early GG. 1 Mangonel down, 3 still to go, and another one probably going to be added soon. Almost has the gold. There we go. Janissaries being added, more villages being created. Nice 1 TC push. He's now adding more to wood. He's going to want to look to add more farms. Add more farms and quite quick. Now what's TeRRoR going to do? No stable for husbandry. He does have 2 TCs though, and he is running, 4 villager advantage at the moment. Not huge. He doesn't have the farms to run both TCs, so that's a little bit of a misplay in my opinion. A nice tag around killing a couple more cavalry archers, and then a couple more follow. Oh, none actually. Yeah, the Janissaries are just killing the cavalry archers because he's not using them to kill the Janissaries. If he killed the Janissaries and then used his own Mangonels to fight the Mongols, he would be in a better position. I think this is why going second TC was a big mistake here. Aldi's still alive, 2 of them are half dead though. Stable now coming up. Does he want husbandry or bloodlines? I'm not entirely sure which one's first, but he doesn't want cavalry in this case. But the Janissaries are just being massed up now, and there is more stone intake coming from Melkor. Still only 2 on stone, but if he goes a little bit harder on stone, he should be able to get 2 castles around Janissaries. I think maybe a Castle Age push at this point might be a bit stronger than going for Imperial. He's looking pretty low on the Janissary numbers, and going Imp with low Janissary numbers, you know, you're not going to have too many by the time you do it. Now to really back up your suggestion. TeRRoR adding in more ranges. The market he so desperately needs as well. These TCs just aren't running. He's only 1 villager ahead. He's been 2 TC versus 1 TC this whole game. In Castle Age, that is. Bloodlines, nice. Gonna survive the Mangonels that much easier. I don't know why he gets the defensive armor. Does padded archer armor and leather archer armor mean that cavalry archers take 1 less hit to kill from Janissaries? I could assume that leather means they have 1 less hit, but probably not padded. Leather archer armor coming in anyway. This is so many Mangonels. You can't do anything about this without your own Mangonels. You need to use your cavalry archers to snipe the Janissaries, and while they're actually trying to deal with that, then you could at least get 1 or 2 lucky hits in. TeRRoR made a second TC, and I don't get it because he never made the farms to run it, so there wasn't any point in having it. At the same time, needs his own Mangonels. Quick look at the achievements. Economy stronger for Melkor in the end. Big score gap actually. 800. Units killed 5 to 23. 23 to 5. A lot of those were probably single Janissary pickups early off. Pickoffs early on. I need to learn how to speak English. Not a good day for me. Aside from that, yeah, I mean the cavalry archers was a nice move, but he needed his own Mangonels. Villager high 1 from Melkor. As I said, TeRRoR making that second TC was more than useless. Let me quickly jump back to that one. Actually, I need to update the score. We're moving on to game 4. And my spectator overlay is here. Here we have 2 top tier civs. Again, we are on game 3 of Melkor vs TeRRoR as a small group of matches that they played. And today has been spotlighting TeRRoR. Here we have Melkor with Incas. He does not like meso civs. But in this case, I think he could probably make an exception. Incas are an exceptionally good civ. I rate them very highly, simply because they are like Italians, but they can actually counter things. Incas have a lot of different units, especially having Arbalast at the same time as they have Arbalast, they have Eagles, they have the Slinger, which is a nice counter unit as well. Have decent infantry, you know, with halbs and everything. They also have reasonable siege with the siege ram. I think Incas are really nice all over the board civ. I never really find going wrong as Incas. Jon Slow managed to jinx Melkor into picking Incas, getting Incas this game. I cannot speak today. That's what happens when you stream after working. And you're usually quite lazy. Over here we have a nice top civ. We have Britons. Britons are a really nice civ, especially on Arena. Their economy bonus is really strong, simply because they could boom behind all aggression because they get up quite fast with their sheep gathering bonus. And TCs are very, very cheap to add because they cost half as much wood really. At Aside from that, they have the really strong ability for the archers to have extra range, including their longbow, and archery range is working faster. Crossbows are a nice, addition against any unit, but against Incas, things like longbows, maybe Arbalast, they're not good units to be making against something like Incas. We also need to consider late game Incas has slingers, so although Britons do have champion to counter things like Eagle Warriors, they're not going to survive slingers, which are nice and cheap. You don't even need to consider Kamyuk. Britain are going to have a little bit of a problem with this, especially without decent cavalry to deal with a Mesosive. Without decent monks either. Incas do have good monks. Would we see TeRRoR Trust in this matchup? Makes it even more difficult because Incas have cheaper stone buildings. As I said, I rate Incas extremely high because they're just a very nice versatile civ. Jack of all trades, and they're actually strong at what they do in all those aspects. So let's take a quick look at the maps. For the Inca map over here from Melkor in the red, we have second gold in the back, another second gold in the back. That is really nice, as well as 4 deer. 4 deer inside, just icing on the cake really. Doesn't have a good main stone though, that could be trushed. Not very good second stone either, but he can actually retreat to this if he gets hit directly forward. So it's doable. It's definitely doable. With this main gold, a little bit risky. What I would say for this kind of play, I wouldn't play too aggressive because there's not too much point in having this map and playing aggressive. Because you're only going to be taken off the stone if you're getting trushed. If you play pretty passive, do something like a small defense, like go Eagle Scouts or something just to keep you quite safe while you boom, then you should be perfectly fine with this map. It's quite a good map for that kind of thing. Don't lose in our villager. Do not lose in our villager. Over here we have TeRRoR. He is 4 on wood. I like his map. Nice second gold in the back and extra gold in the back. A main stone in the back, main gold pretty in the back, pretty safe. The only thing that's really bad about this map, outside deer, he's going to have a nightmare pushing these ones in. I think he's just going to push to the gate and then try and push a couple in and then just give up after that point. Second gold outside, second gold and second stone outside, I should say. And there's an extra way out here. Extra stones over there. I honestly like both players' maps. Probably TeRRoR's just that little bit more because his main gold is safer. He does definitely have a more open front though. I do like, for defending, I do quite like Melkor's map here. Especially with the golds in the back. Speaking of which, just a little bit of a woodline here. It makes walling to TC very, very easily against some early aggression. And it's not even that big of a pinnacle, so... I'm pretty indifferent about this map. Actually, they're both pretty equal. I would prefer Incas in this matchup, but Britons are really nice for what they do as well. Something very, very fast like a Siege Tower Expo. It doesn't have much longevity, but if the Inca player is trying some kind of early forward like a smush, and they're trying to boom perhaps, then you could really mess them up. They're not going to have either eagles right away, or if they do, they're not going to have strong enough eagles to really deal with it. So it's going to take them some time to deal with it after you've already done the damage. Then you can transition into anything else. For example, take map control, just get those relics in. You could be in a really good position. TeRRoR going for 25 plus 2 with added idle time. Actually, he's only 2 seconds more idle than Melkor, so it's not a problem really. Melkor's strategy over here, he is floating a lot of wood, staying in 1 lumber camp, but 8 villagers? That's crazy. He also needs to sort this one out, this Tradfill. I do it all the time, but... I don't really see what TeRRoR's plan is going to be as Britons. As I said, I'm thinking... Of course, without Rax, he's not going to be going for a archery range blacksmith. He's going to be going for market blacksmith. Does he want to just boom and hope he has a good late game win? I have personally VS'd Stefan, where we had this matchup, and I was Brins, and I just had very little clue what to do. I did go for Siege Tower Expo, did some damage. I didn't really hold on to the map control too long though, that was a big issue of mine at the time. I also didn't take the relics while I could. And yeah, if I'd done that maybe, then a quick boom because Britain's of course into champ. That would have been nice. I mean, TeRRoR could go Lombo, but he needs to not force Eagles. Although I don't know what Melkor's plan here is with 26 plus 2. Oh, he had so much idle time. What happened? He's only going to be... Oh, TeRRoR had so much idle time. There we go. Just reading that one wrong. So TeRRoR gets to Castle Age about the same time as Melkor. 5 seconds the difference, but 1 villager less. TeRROR's fast builds for you. To be honest, I don't know how he couldn't pull that one off as Britain, so he should have been able to. Even with this low deer because they're outside. Patrolling his scout, he's waiting until Castle Age where his scout is going to be strong enough to go outside. Of course, in Castle Age, 4 plus the +3 kicks in. And 4 plus 3 versus something like the 3 plus 2 of the scout, it basically just wins. We don't commonly see monks from Melkor. He does a lot of farms. A lot of farms with this much wood suggest he wants to maybe 3 TC boom right away. When it comes to TeRRoR, TeRRoR has a lot more wood than he needs to 3 TC boom because Britain's of course. He's not adding that many farms right away. He's probably just going to wait until he gets something like heavy plough because he has some food to afford that with. Grayton. So place your TCs right away. He's probably going to place these on stone. This one on gold. Oh, come on.
Ready.
He's still not sorted this. Come on. Anyway, someone built a monastery somewhere. He's going to get relics while booming in the back. Fair enough. He's going to stay 2 TC. We're going to find out at about 20 wood. This amount of wood does suggest he's going to boom though, add a 3rd TC. There we go. Both players going 3 TC, both players adding a monastery. Not all too different from each other at this point, although Melkor is ahead in villagers. Joshua brings up a good point. Completely forgot about that +2 bonus damage like cavalry did. That had to just look up there. So the eagle right now should just go and snipe the monk, and it's getting blocked. Nice, but it's still going to get a kill, I think. Yeah, there we go. TeRRoR is probably at the moment shouting bullshit to his stream. That's just my thoughts, though. One relic quickly picked up in a monk here that could probably, you know, get quick convert maybe. Nah, maybe not. Both players saying 3 TC at the moment. Just booming behind some monastery shenanigans. TeRRoR losing his monk instead of just going back and grabbing another relic is also quite annoying. I don't see how Britain can ever really win against Incas in a lot of situations. It's complete civ win. TeRRoR probably, I mean if TeRRoR actually does go ARBs like really fast, or if he just like opens with champions or something. I don't see Melkor going slingers all too easily, but if he does then he could switch. If you force slingers then maybe you could switch into mixing in something like Arbalast. But only if you have a good boom. Thank God that scout didn't convert. That would have just been every human being shouting bullshit if that scout did to get converted. Oh, this is a close one. Oh, it's not that close actually. Few tiles. One relic picked up for TeRRoR. But it looks like a pretty solid 2 relics for Melkor so far. Yeah. Nice. No extra TC being added to later wheelbarrow from Melkor here. His usual wheelbarrow timings is never too good. 4th TC now coming up for TeRRoR. That's a nice little move. Get the extra boom out while it's really cheap for you to do. He's probably going to send both these monks together just so he can make sure he can snipe any scouts that come that way. Although we're seeing the same thing for TeRRoR. Not too much action happening at this point. Let's look at the farmer counts real quick. 28 here, 29 there. But a lot more lumberjacks from Melkor here. He could afford to add more farms. When it comes to TeRRoR, he just doesn't have that many lumberjacks. Although he's about to with this 4th TC. Incas don't require that much gold because slingers are really cheap on their own. And you could just go eagles against archers, so it's easy and quite cheap to just go straight eagles because they only purely cost gold. You don't need much of an economy behind them, just slam a bunch of villagers in gold. At the same time as then, it's actually quite cheap to then add slingers as a backup to that. Whereas if you want to counter something like eagles, champion, or that kind of line on its own, if you don't have knights to do it, that's actually quite an expensive option. Oh, eagle got converted, scout got converted. It looks like TeRRoR is gonna have... Where's the other relic? No, TeRROR's gonna have 3 relics to 2. It's gonna be strong. As I was saying, if you're going champions against eagle warriors, you're gonna get countered by slingers, and then it's actually quite expensive to add things like Arblast behind that. Champions are more expensive because of just the upgrades to get them though, rather than actually running them, so... Late game scenario, if either player has a lot of gold, Brins can technically win, but they could just be beaten by more outright things. Like, full eagles can still do decent damage to the champs. Just come around and snipe the orbs. Slinger range is also quite good. Like, you don't want to be getting close enough to the eagles. ARPs still counter slingers, like especially Britain ARPs. They will, they wreck slingers, but it's not like they're not like infantry units, that kind of thing. With the couriers to give them the extra purest armor, slingers are still quite strong. I probably should have some kind of on-screen chat like here, but I'm too lazy for that kind of thing. All players hitting imp. We see a 6 villager lead for TeRRoR right now because of course he had the extra TC. Nice bonus of Britain booming. So better economy, castle coming up. Is it going to focus into longbows or is it going to go some other unit? I don't see any barracks. Siege workshop probably was his upbuilding. He's looking for... Actually not all too much gold. He could be going for more gold than this if he really wanted it. That does seem like he would go champion with that kind of income, but I think he's probably going to... Yeah, he would be reseeing his farm so he wasn't. Maybe he wants to go champion plus longbow. But that's so expensive and going to take so long. I think he's probably going to die in this. Forging, Eagle Warrior upgrade, castle by 2 income. Squire's nice. Magno infinitely chasing a Monk. Okay, please tell me Yeoman's gonna be researched. Barracks. Okay, champion. I like this move. Yep, he's going for that route. Just gonna make trebs right away, maybe? Conscription, of course, naturally. Conscription on its own is really worth just building a castle for. Castle coming up, Mass Eagles. Of course, if this breaks in, there's not too much. He's getting long swordsman now, but I think... No, he could actually be at least decent way onto his champion by the time Melkor gets in. I think he might have a fine chance with this, especially with this economy. He is now 14 villagers ahead, that's pretty nice. Melkor's still running his TCs, of course. He has a while to get another 20 villagers to make him fully boomed. He knows about the spec map, at least what matters in it. He's getting time watch at the same time just so he can see what's coming out over here. With an outpost. And some archery ranges. He wants to add slingers. Okay, eagle plus slinger. It's not a combination you want to go right away, it's more of a switch. You probably want to do that economy, but I think he could probably mix in at least a few to make this a bit more effective. Like non-fully upgraded champions, I don't think he's going to have close to fully upgraded by that time anyway. They're going to be eventually fully upgraded, but you know, with a few slingers added in, the eagles are going to survive long enough to let slingers do their job. Melkor is ahead in the treb war, but of course 2 castles are going to change that very, very quickly. He's not building much else. I mean, champion now coming in at the same time as elite skirmisher. Okay. He is getting elite skirm instead of... Why? I guess maybe he doesn't want to rely on the couriers eagles, but he's not researching couriers. He can afford it. Couriers is quite cheap. I don't remember the exact cost, I just remember it being cheap. Oh, we got price increase. Yeah. The last patch. 600 food, 600 gold. Still not too expensive, it feels more like a unique tech. I think he's gonna click it now though. No? Blast furnace instead? He wants to snipe the treb, but he's just throwing away eagles in this. Yes, kinda worth it. At least it stays his castle for a noticeable amount longer. He probably should move this a little bit further forward, then unpack it. That way he could get the edge on any treb that comes to attack. Maybe actually hit it before it unpacks. Lots of slingers now. But this is quite nice for TeRRoR because he can now just add longbows at this point. He doesn't have the room for archery ranges, so he can't really make Arbalast. But 2 castles, that's a decent amount of longbows he can start making. Absolutely not a single upgrade on these at the moment. Thumb ring now coming in, ballistics. I believe ballistics has a slight effect on slingers, but it doesn't have a huge one. Siege ram slingers, that's going to be nice, kill the infantry at the same time as, you know, any civ with siege ram is really, really strong against Britons. Soaks up the archer fire. Fletching now coming in. Even these castle age, no upgrade slingers are huge damage to the infantry here. Yeah, this unit is so ridiculous. Bodkin now coming in chemistry as well to get the extra +1 damage. Rocks with ballistics, that's just so good. But yeah, the champions, as you can see, just melt. And then he's not actually adding enough in my opinion. I think he needs to just add a little bit more just because he doesn't... This is enough that can easily be sniped by the longbows. And then siege rams are as good as dead. Although of course we are trying to think about TeRRoR's micro here, so that's a bit of a different story altogether. Lots of siege rams, that's really bad for the Britons. The champions should be able to clean that up. But as I said, TeRRoR doesn't seem to be sniping the slingers, which have basically no upgrades. No couriers coming in though. He could definitely sell some stone and get some resources. Sell price for stone is still definitely good. Yeah, he can sell it for 91 gold per 100 stone. 1 mangonel. Okay, under upgrade if he can afford it. What's TeRRoR's economy looking like? Yeah, he can definitely afford to get himself some good old under upgrades there. Skirmishers coming in, just a little bit of extra padding just to help deal with the longbows a little bit better, but the slingers on their own should be quite strong. Again, we're not seeing all too many upgrades for the slingers. TeRRoR's now loaded with resources, he can afford to do anything. He's getting yeomen and ballistics for the longbows. Okay, not ideal, but it's good enough. Bracer now coming in from TeRRoR as well. It's going to help Andy and Sling coming in from Melkor, which is not a great technology, but it might help. Maybe he misclicked, maybe he went to go couriers. But if he gets couriers, then it's going to be a lot better for him. Especially now with Bracer and Chemistry on these slingers, they are full attack. They just need the armor. The very many armor they can get. TeRRoR now losing his gold though. He still has a lot of gold. 3k in the bank is huge. What if he loses these castles? Well then he just can't make longbows anymore. No room to make Arbalast. That puts him in a really bad position. Bow champion is not going to work against this combination. Sure, I kill the skirms, but the slingers just on their own are strong enough. Now the slingers are skirms are useless. The slingers are killing some of the champs, so they're going to trade quite well. But Melkor's just, because the skirms stay where they are instead of moving around when they get Andy and Sling, he's not able to really get towards the longbows or bait them too much. One chow's about to go down, but we're going to see a lot of slingers coming out here. That's a lot of slingers, and Hoarding's now coming in to make sure his castle survives a bit longer. Masonry coming for TeRRoR just to keep his castles alive. He's not doing much here. I believe Britons have masonry, but they do not have architecture as far as I remember. What am I looking at? Oh, they do have architecture. I never pay attention to what civs do and do not have architecture. I only recently learned which 3 don't have masonry. Which is Byzantines, Vietnamese and Aztecs. Lots of longbows now coming out, but that's not a position you want to be in for a player who did go full eagles and still has a bunch of eagles. These champions can easily snipe the eagles, but if these just get that a little bit closer, he does have couriers as well. Plus 6 pierce armor on these is going to make them more effective. Troops not going to get killed, but going to get damaged anyway. And now there's really no counter to this amount of slingers. The skirms mixed in with the eagles, the longbows are just going to melt at this point. And yeah, there goes the... Champions are a really strong option for Brits to go. I mean, fully upgraded champs is, you know, quite a good option in a lot of cases, but at the same time as having them with a really good boom behind them, it can really help them against a lot of civs. Brits are really strong, but just in the late game against Siege Ram they do have some problems, but things like hand cannoneers, slingers give them a hell of a time after that. So TeRRoR's gold, he has lost 1.5k gold. Melkor's still living in the gold. His basically more than full boomed actually. At this point we are seeing TeRRoR with 123 villagers, Melkor with 147. He has too much. He doesn't seem to have that many farmers though. 59 lumberjacks, that's a ridiculous amount. He can afford 1 million siege rams, but he's not making 1 million siege rams. This castle's still going to go down though. Masonry coming out from Melkor to protect probably this castle. He needs to keep this one alive if he wants to keep a castle anyway. It's not really using it though. Siege rams instead of trebs is also a nice thing. So a lot of champions are going into killing these rams. These rams only cost about as much gold as 3 champions. And I bet the same wood as 3 champions cost in food. However, of course, you know, He's losing more than 3 champions every single ram he kills here. Not a good trade. 2 relics via 0, it's still a lot better. It's quite fortunate TeRRoR did lose these relics, but this castle here is definitely going to stop anyone picking these ones up. Looks like TeRRoR wants to pick up that relic though. He wants to try and get those back, he needs them. Yeah, his gold mine here is depleted, his main gold is gone. The only gold he has left are these 2 tiles here. He has 500 gold in mines and 400 in the bank, 200 now. And he can't even collect it because he has so many villagers that have gone over to it. This is looking some GG right here. He's only survived this long because of the resources he's had, but he's only 100 villagers and 50 military, 150 pop, versus 147 villagers and 41 military. Less military, but I could quite easily counter this with this many skirms especially. Ah, there we go, Eagle doing a bit of raiding, I wonder what that was. So now that TeRRoR just doesn't have the resources anymore, what is he going to do? Because he can't exactly just go his own trash against slingers, skirmishers, and occasional eagle, siege ram. And that monk is going to get sniped. Bit of a waste of gold from TeRRoR there. But I don't see him ever getting these relics back. They're just too close to the army here. Melkor just coming in and managed to try and snipe one of the relics. He brings it closer. But the castle goes down. So skirmishers can just move in here, take this, take the relics. Quite an easy win.
Ready.
What could have changed this game? Champion plus Onager from the Britain player maybe. He needed a lot of Onager. He just doesn't have the room to make military buildings here. He had to like cut most of this. That's a big part of it. I'm going to quickly go grab another drink. Return to this one. Always the good sounds. No massive score difference. To be honest, if I was to guess the scores without having never looked at them, I wouldn't say they'd be this high. But, you know, I guess the game did go on for a little while. 47 minutes, not the longest, but about this time Spring wouldn't be setting up his trade, but let's not make memes. Melkor lost one more unit somewhere, then was killed, maybe just to a wolf at some point. Oh, the conversion, that would be it. Melkor just overall better economy. He didn't... I don't see him having the better economy. I see late game when he overboomed to 147 villagers compared to TeRRoR's 120 that dropped down to 100. I see that's probably where this economy boost came from. It's not all that much more though. Like 5% more food. About the same for wood. Stone, double the stone though. Of course, Incas do save a lot of stone on their buildings. Gold collected, just a little bit more. Relic gold, Melkor did have one less relic, 3 vs2, but he held on for them for longer. TeRRoR did overbeam to a villager high, but he didn't keep on to that one too long. Yeah, about here and then kind of dropping off. Melkor was 200 pop for most of this end here, which of course you do want to be. We're back to this, having to restart the game. So far no one has presented a solution to this. Complete wrong folder. Here we are coming into game 5 of today, which is going to be the 4th game in this best of essentially 7 that Melkor has played against TeRRoR. There have been games previously, but this is just of a set that he played on a specific day. So we're going to be going over this one. This is actually the first game of the match. I mean, casting these in reverse order, just because that's the way I downloaded them. Here we have Melkor in the red. He is Vikings. Vikings a very good civ. If you know anything about him, you know about his emote, brother AoE 2, also known as BR AoE 2, rather. And the Zerk emote you can get by subscribing there. Not to plug their channel or anything, but I'm not gonna lie, the Berserk is one of the most iconic things in AOC, I think. And over here we have TeRRoR as the Mongols. He is a Mongol. And this is not Mongol material right here. 3 deer only outside, and they're blocked by the boars really, so yeah, it's if he wants to delete this wall, he has to take the boars before he could actually push in the deer, because of course deer are scared of the boars and they'll run away. You could always open the gate and get either, but it's going to take too long to root a villager around here, pick this out, and then same thing again. 3 deer over here, not all too great. So map wise, this looks like Trush Central for TeRRoR. He has... This is arguably one of the worst maps I've seen ever. I've seen similar where the gold is basically here but lodged inside of the wall. Inside of the trees rather, so you have like 2 tiles exposed. Similar with the stone. So yeah, I have seen some bad maps, but this definitely is right up there. Main gold, forward, and kill tiles away from the wall. Main stone, same situation. Second gold outside and forward. Another second gold outside and very far away. Second stone outside, but not all too forward. I guess that's slightly a saving grace. Really crappy boars and crappy deer as well. And no back base, so your room is very limited as well. This is so bad. Over here on Melkor's side, Melkor is a villager ahead for some reason. Did TeRRoR get loon? Or is he just idling forever? He's not that far behind, I suppose. Looking over here at Melkor's map, that's not a good main stone. That's an okayish main gold, not so great. Second stone not in the question. Both second golds outside. Any saving graces? He hasn't scouted this yet, but he does have an extra gold in the bank. I guess he has a bit of room, and also double berries is quite nice. You can save yourself a decent bit of wood by not building farms by having 5 forward bushes. Each one is almost like a farm, so 1 mil for 5 of them. It's a pretty good deal. I'm assuming he knows that's there. If he doesn't know that's there, then that's just disappointing to all of us. Oh, yeah, I guess he does. 4 wood over here, and he loosely patches this one up. There we go. TeRRoR is going to trush. It's everything about this reeks of TeRRoR trushing. Oh no, he's taking... He would have good results if he did trush. Delete the wall. Don't bother with this. Just trush. Like, I don't enjoy trush play. I just don't like it. I don't like it in my games. But at least if I'm watching someone who's known trusher, at least do it, you know, properly. It's like... Loom coming in for TeRRoR might be a step too late for this villager though. Oh. A lot of things could have gone wrong there. TeRRoR getting a 10-minute feudal age, which is a 20-second idle time. That's not the worst. Considering those boars as Mongols, you know, not the end of the world. He's going to have a lot of extra food here though, because he's taking this boar at this point. Not bothering with the deer, of course. He has Mongols, but why bother? Four villagers on stone. Seems like he wants to dedicate a lot of villagers into this trush if he wants 4 villagers of stone worth. He has no villagers going forward. He knows... He's got pretty good map scouting actually. For this time in the game, that's pretty good. Where's the forward vills, man? Over here we have Melkor doing a 27 plus 2 it looks like. 3 on that, 3 on this. No, 4 on this, that's unusual. I would expect 3 on either war. So now TeRRoR sending the villagers forward, he's going for 5, not any more than that, unlike the Persian game where he douched, that was quite a good one. He's going to be a little bit late, but not the end of the world. Mongo's quite good for this thing if you want to fast up and do this. Blacksmith coming up. Okay, nice. Making good use of that food. He's going to go for quite fast fletching. What is Melkor's plan with this 28 plus 2? Does he just want to go scouts like he typically does? I mean, of course he is Vikings, and he's not going to go scouts because he knows this rush is coming. I think he's going to hope by the time he gets feudal he can build the tower here. And then he's going to quickly try and wall this off here. As soon as possible. If you get a wall across here, then it doesn't really have any problems. He did scout the extra gold in the back, that's going to be quite useful for him. And also he can actually go for the stone out here if he chooses to. But you might want to kill the Mongol scout first if you can. I don't get why TeRRoR does this. TeRRoR always uses a scout instead of a villager to attack the wall and then garrisons a villain inside the tower to then shoot it out for the extra arrow. But the extra arrow plus the scout don't do as much damage as the villager on its own does. So it always confuses me, that one. So here we go, he is building the tower here. And this is going to be quite safe for him. He does not have loom, I don't believe. No. He's actually quite smartly just backing off on this one. Losing a villager doesn't get a kill the scout, but it's fair enough. 3, 4, 5, 6. This is definitely a nice tower. Loom is already in. And TeRRoR might lose some villagers here if he doesn't pay any attention. This is a good tower, but of course fast fletching from TeRRoR could be, you know, useful. And the scout is now dead, so it looks like Melkor, if he wanted to, could go out here and start taking this stone. He could still take this gold quite effectively. It would take, you know, with our... this is roughly in this range, but you'd have to go like here maybe, to deny the gold. Here or here. Okay, that's a bold move. I heard a blacksmith being built, but I did not see a market. So he's backing off on this gold and he's going to go crazy for that gold in the back. That is insane. I believe I might have watched this game already. I don't really know. It seems familiar to me though. I think I've seen this. He's advanced into Castle Age 1732, quite fast considering he's been crushed. Denied of gold, but this tower is not really going to go down. There's not too much that can stop it. Yeah, this tower can't reach this tower. This tower has fletching, so it can reach this tower, but it can't reach the one tile further without bodkin, so it can be repaired freely. Barracks coming up. Are we going to see a stable or something to try and raid some economy? Quick little patch up job here, so TeRRoR can now break down a house and probably enter over here, but it's not going to do too much good for him. And he wants to spam build this. It could work. Arguably, it's not. Wouldn't be the worst idea, but it hasn't worked. So, what percent is that at? 87%. That could still be spam built if Melkor garrisoned again. But I think maybe he just wants to kill the foundation this time. That's enough villagers on gold to of course run some ramps. He's getting skill in armor, so he's going to add some knights. Knights are really nice against the Trush because as soon as you get a +1 armor, they're really not at all vulnerable. When will TeRRoR hit Castle Age? Because when he does, then he has the option to go, you know, add a camel. Not the best combination, but, you know, against Vikings, who adds 1 or 2 knights and then siege. I think he's not going to hit Castle anytime soon, so it's not going to matter. There's one villager about to go down, I think. Yeah, one villager I wasn't expecting to go down went down. And no other village going down, but now the tower's just going to go down, so if anything, I think TeRRoR wasted a lot by trying to go through that one. So we see the knights, 2 have made so far, I believe. Now 2. I think as soon as TeRRoR breaks through this, a couple of knights should be able to help clean this one up. Villagers should be fine. Melkor Scout just kind of idling over here. He knows very little about what's going on the map. As I said, I'm surprised about TeRRoR's knowledge. He managed to scout quite well. His base was terrible, so he went forward to make use of it. There are other things he could have done, but, you know, for once, Trush was not the worst thinking. TeRRoR coming up. Can this be... Is TeRRoR not going to notice? Oh, he does notice, in quite good timing as well. I think I need to do the thing that fixes the garrison flags being on top of the buildings. Why aren't the rams coming out yet? We see spearmen, we see mass spearmen's actually quite effective at taking down the knights. I think opening this is not the best of ideas. The knights are going to come first because the knights of course can kill the spearmen quite easily. If this tower goes down, this tower goes down, then there's not too much backup from TeRRoR. I think he's just going to be trying to slowly creep closer and then losing faster than he's gaining. Economy wise, we see 38 villagers to 34, and keep in mind Melkor has the Castle Age upgrade, probably not wheelbarrow. And because of the scouts he made, TeRRoR's not close to clicking up. He's 400 gold away, 400 food away and some gold. 3 villas and gold, not going to get that all too quickly either. Melkor's own spears are contributing to this one. Scorpion, going to help kill the spears. Really nice move here. So how's TeRRoR going to escape? He's 4 villagers behind, plus Castle Age, maybe wheelbarrow head. But he's going to lose 5 villagers really quickly, and that's going to be GG really. He can't possibly escape with those villas. And there goes the castle, and the villas are now going to be trapped. He needs to really move the knights over towards this side a little bit though. Still idling the one scout he has. To be fair, if you don't have the ability to pay attention to it, then don't. But TeRRoR, he's now... When these 5 villagers die, he's going to be 12 villagers behind. And still in feudal age. He has really no option to fight that. He can now click up, but what's he going to do when he gets up? He's got no buildings, so he has to then build stables at home, maybe make camels or something. But then you're just going to be dealing with pikemen, ram, mangonels that are already there. So, yeah. TeRRoR's pretty GG this game, and I think his strategy was a bit of a choice. Quick look over achievements. This was the last game of today. Quickly update the score. Military stats, of course, Melkor had a lot more military at the end of the game, as well as a better economy by far. Technology stats, they basically researched the same amount of stuff. Bit of a higher score from Melkor, but honestly, it was such a big difference that having that close of a score is not that important. Kill more units. He did actually lose some knights. Losing the knights was not the best idea. He losing a couple of spearmen in the process. You know, it adds up to units lost, but if you still manage to kill all those vills, then not a bad idea. Yes, no stone collected really in comparison, but that's okay. 1.5k more wood collected, 300 more food collected. I just realised I wondered if Melkor got wheelbarrow when he was Vikings. That was a big faux pas on my part. Surprised he didn't have that much food collected in the end. But of course the extra food from the boars, I guess that helped her out in that food count a little bit. Compared to the handcar farmers in Castle Age. And an extra 1k gold from Melkor, which is mostly just some gold mines in the back. Decent bit of idle time there for TeRRoR. Melkor was looking pretty on par really. He even still got a decent Castle Age from being trushed. Yeah. So that's me done streaming for today. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you want to go to my own Twitch, this is where you can go. Village Official is definitely growing. We have more casters. Right now we have active, we have nobody, me, and we also have the new streamer Nova. Nova is a very, very good streamer. I encourage you to check him out whenever he has some good games planned to stream. If you want to, let me just get a quick Discord invite link here actually. If you want to join one of the Vibly Official community Discords, then you could go to this link here. And if you have any good arena games that you see throughout a week that you want to advise me to cast on this arena weekly, which I do at 23 GMT every Friday, then just post them there at me, just do at Mr. GPN, you'll see me, and I will look into it and see if I can cast it. So thanks everyone for watching, and good night.